Phantasmophobia. It's also a good game.
Yeah. When it works.
When it works.
Yeah.
Phasmophobia. I legit was one click away from buying Phantasmophobia, the FMV game.
Phantasmagoria, you mean?
Phantasmagoria, thank you. That we have an entire playthrough through on GiantBomb.com. You can go watch.
The Roberta Williams opus.
Yeah.
But
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, man, Phasmophobia. What do you guys know anything about this game?
Is it?
You talk to ghosts, or you make noise and ghosts don't like it.
I had your stream on for just a minute, and it looked like some kind of multiplayer ghost detective shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a ghost hunting simulator basically, and it kind of blends the scientific side of it with like your EMF readers, your sound meters,
your thermometers,
unbelievable thermometers, with the occult stuff like salt and Ouija boards and candles and stuff like that, and kind of basically the flow of it. And Jan, you can step in here if I'm missing something. You go to a location like a house or a school or something. Teams of 4, and you grab your gear. You can call like 3 pieces of gear. And the whiteboard in the van, you start out in like a cool, not so cool, pretty
standard
van, like this just kind of ghost hunting van. And the whiteboard will be like, okay, get a photo of ghost activity, get a picture of dirty water. Don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And then the ghost
get you dirty water. Right now,
if you can get me a picture of dirty water, that would get me like $40 for my next job. And it'll tell you like the ghost's name is Roberta Williams, and she will respond to one person at a time,
or a group.
Yeah. And then you go out, and basically the flow of how we were doing it. There's different ways to do it, but the ghost is always going to be in a cold setting, or the ghost makes it cold. So you like use your temperature gun and kind of poke around and look for the room that has the low temperature. You get in the room, and I should say it uses proximity
chat.
Yeah. So, if I'm talking to Jan from one side of the room to the other, he can barely hear me. But if I'm up next to him, he can hear me. There's also walkie-talkies, so you could push to talk on your walkie so everyone can hear you. But the ghosts can hear you.
Yeah,
and Jan, you had the roughest experience. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, this part's real neat because the game encourages you to use the in-game audio chat because the proximity stuff, but also the ghost is like kind of actively listening for you. On our first hunt, I was a little bit overzealous and was thinking the ghost wouldn't get me, and it was a ghost that targets single players. So Ben and I were headed outside of the house, but because you move, the walking speed is just so slow.
We did what you should definitely do, which was split up into 2 pairs instead of a group of 4.
Yeah. Ben was walking a little bit ahead of me, and then like I kind of got lost in like my little gadgets that the ghost wound up killing me because I guess Ben and I were just yelling at each other going down the stairs, and I was also yelling at my walkie-talkie.
Like the doors started opening and closing, and the lights were coming on and off. Spooky shit started going on. And so
can I ask? Yeah. No. Do all the ghosts kill you, or are there some that slime you or suck you off, or like what? Like what else can a ghost do? Is there?
I think in VR they might suck you off, but I was playing outside of VR.
Does this have VR support?
I'll see you later.
It does.
Oh, it does
for sure.
Huh?
I think you might. Oh,
Jeff has jacked in.
Yeah,
he's
finding the ghosts.
Don't jack in during work calls.
Like a ghost that shoots card catalog cards at you, maybe. Yeah.
I think they're all. I've only died. And Jan, when you died, did you get like strung up in a weird flesh prison?
Yeah,
It's me every day, baby.
The ghost grabbed me from behind and then brought me underneath, and then I was in purgatory for a bit. But then I started walking around the house, and the house was mad foggy.
Right, because when you die, you're not dead. Of course, you're a ghost.
I had a real existential crisis by myself as a ghost. I don't think I'd be good as a ghost.
I could see it.
And that first game was extra weird because for some reason Jan was the only person I could hear, so I would have to talk to Jan, to Vinny and Abby, but then Jan died, and so I'm just screaming to Vinny and Abby like, I think Jan's dead. Where are you? Please help me.
The jankiness makes the game really endearing, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those games where you need to have a group of friends that you're willing to like really go for it with.
Yeah.
Like it's not a fun video game to play, quote unquote.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
Moving around sucks. Placing objects is hard. Like it's really hard to set something down. Like you'll have to set a camera down in the corner of the room so you can watch the thermal version of it back in the van. But like you just kind of keep dropping it and it lands on its face and you have to pick it back up and set it down. There's no map. Like the navigation is really tough, but that's kind of on purpose, you know, because they want you to be disoriented. But like the act of playing it with other people is fun. Getting into it, pretending you're a ghost hunter.
I think where we wound up near the end of the play date, that we kind of had everything down to a science, that the game was just not as challenging anymore. And I don't know if, you know, other levels stuff, or the higher you go, the more difficult the ghost encounters will be.
I will
we kind of had
there
it
is
down
a
to a
leveling
science
system. And we were pretty low level.
I was gonna ask, does it like mix up the levels or randomize stuff like a Left 4 Dead type thing, or they're not just like fixed scenarios, right? Okay.
Yeah, because like we started out in a house, and then by the end we were in a whole abandoned like psych ward.
It's early access, right?
Early access, $13.99, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you want to get into ghost hunting, it's really cheap.
Does it seem like it would be less janky? Does it seem like a game that was built for VR that you are playing not in VR, and that's why it's janky?
I've heard it's like pretty good in VR, so I would believe that it was maybe VR focused. But it's not one of those like games where you're like, this is impossible not in VR.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. Playdate up on the site? That's what it's called?
Playdate is up on the site.
Yeah, you guys
Abby we're gonna play some more at some point.
Yeah, that sounds neat.
Yeah, Abby and Vinny also did a 6 Crazy Frights with it. It's real neat.
Has anybody streamed it in VR yet on this website?
No.
I would almost be tempted to give that a shot, except that
I would love that.
Streaming in VR
Brad will support you.
Pretty tough, it turns out. But
Brad, Ben, and I are expert ghost hunters now.
Might be doable at some point.
Jan went into this not knowing his EMF reader from his another thing.
No, I meant
EVF.
I meant making the stream work with the headset on. Is the hard part, not the game.
Oh yes, no, yeah, that's definitely So that's I set up all the VR stuff on this other PC that can run to this streaming PC that then can NDI to the one that's actually streaming it out, and by distributing it across 3 personal computers, it is slightly easier to do. Slightly.
Okay.
Sounds like more steps for a ghost to get involved to me. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. I let a ghost work the T-bar, the ghostly T-bar to handle transitions and such.
They wanted retribution?
Yeah, no, definitely. It was the SmackDown hacker came in and set up my streaming setup, and it's been pretty good.
Don't let a ghost work your streaming setup.
I think I could handle a real ghost hunt now.
They're like, I will say, it's basically what we were doing in Phasmophobia, except nothing happens instead of a ghost coming.
Cool.
I think I would actively antagonize a ghost now. Or a demon spirit. I think I'd be fine.
That's bold of you.
Yeah.
But you see,
do you think there's a good way to turn this into a money-making operation by turning it into a popular, like, reality-esque television show wherein you go to warehouses and stuff and point temperature guns at things and go, ooh?
Oh, 100%. And then we'd start selling our own branded equipment.
Right.
Great. Perfect. Right. Yeah.
Like I would
make your own ghost hunt.
I would make like holy boxing gloves that also have like a thermometer in them that you could punch a ghost with. You know? Think about that. All the people that are being terrorized by ghosts.
Totally.
Just buy our giant bomb ghost gloves. Yeah.
I would make a salt that I would say is from like what's the sea that everyone floats in?
The Dead Sea.
The Dead Sea. I'll say like, oh, this is Dead Sea salt, but really it's just like Dead Sea salt.
Oh.
But I can charge more for it.
Got it.
And we put our faces on it.
I was gonna make a Polaroid camera that takes pictures, but it shows ghosts. And I guess you just take the picture and you're just like, well, no ghost here, I guess.
As it's coming out, there's a little thing that just puts a sticker of a ghost on it.
Exactly.
Like a little orb.
All right, you can save the rest of these ideas.